Hello, Andrew. Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for this introduction, Andre. It was really a pleasure to be here today. Let's screen and introduce the topic of today. Let's try to do it correctly. So, everyone see my screen? Perfect.
Yes, we do.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you, Andre. So, I am the CEO of Hidora, and you can reach me, of course, on Twitter, LinkedIn, and whatever. I will try to explain how we and how we build the multi-availability cluster and cloud provider in Switzerland based on Cozystack. I'm the founder of the DevOpsDays Geneva in 2026. So if you would like to share, welcome. It's still an open source event, and we would like to share your, let's say, experience. Of course, your technology, and of course, what you can do today. Let me introduce what we do, and you will understand why we moved to founded in 2016. Sorry, 16. It was 10 years ago now, and we are we provide services and we do consulting services to help our customer to move to the DevOps philosophy, DevOps technique, of course, manage all new technology. That means Docker, Kubernetes, and so on. So we try to our customer to level of their technology since 2016. At the beginning, when I started the company, when I started Hidora, I started the infrastructure based on Elastic. For me, what's the first solution? Multiple problems, like to have a containers on bare metal. And I want to have a nice UI to answer to the developer who don't know about Docker and don't know about your network or whatever. So just create a platform as a service. It was an open visible, very high quality of the system. And the problem was it's a proprietary solution, but we can resell it and was made in Swiss quality hosting. That's great. And in 2220, purchased by Virtuoso, the next step of Jelastic became the Virtuoso application platform. We were very happy with Jelastic, and now we have it. One of the problems is it's a closed source limitation. So we had some issue with new feature, new technology, and of course, how we can answer to the needs of our customer. That's one of the points where by doing consulting managed services, we are very close to the needs of our customer and say, okay, what can I do for our customer? And that was the problem because it's a cloud services. So we have some limitation, and we try to bring new idea and develop new technology on top of this, but you don't maintain what you want, and it's quite slow in terms of model and how you can answer to your customer. So the point, another point is you have the vendor lock-in. If you would like to increase, you need to stay with them. If you want to answer to like that, you always legal constraint. And of course, if you need any contract for the GDPR, for the ISO, you are stuck. You have a subcontract. So that's where you are a bit locked. It's a good solution, but we are a bit locked. You cannot grow, and you to go. So we would like to go to the enterprise level, and we would like to be 7001 certified. And when you try to do a certification from ISO, do an analysis of you, and one of the points that you have one provider for your main business. It was Jelastic. It's a problem in the same time because you are locked, and if there is any problem with just Jelastic or Virtuoso. You have a problem for your own. So at this point, it was 3 years ago now, we say, okay, we need to create our to make are not dependent of a third-party application. And with Jelastic, your final developer. So it's not a big company, it's really small company with web agency, maybe startup, but you cannot go to the finance or medical or enterprise level because this is what they already have a team inside the company and they already have developers, they already have everything. They just want to go to a cloud provider where they can trust. The point we would like to change our targeted customer to this guy because bigger project, a better revenue rates per customer for us. So it's more interesting in terms of so how we can attack them and the next step for us. But when we think about customer, we need what their needs does they want. So most of our customer in Switzerland, they are on premises because they start since 5 years to move to the cloud provider like Amazon or Azure. But the main concern is the security, very high availability, the role-based access management, the multi-tenant management, VPC, backup. This is something they manage themselves on their VMware or Proxmox or OpenStack system in cost a lot. And of course, if they need a disaster, if they need a smaller PO, RTO, they have a second data center. For them, it's a lot of money. So this is what they need. Of course, Azure, Amazon, them, but problem with the law and the sovereignty about their data. So as Hidora, we try to solve about this solution. What kind of solution we can bring to them to fit their needs? We want the minimum as we have with Jelastic and more. With Jelastic, we are not able to bring S3. We do all the third data center real-time replication to have the high availability and of course the SSO with the airbag system. So at this point, we say, okay, needs and we have the target customer, how we can go further. Okay, let's make a market and try to find the best virtualizer solution. Of course, VMware was in the target, Proxmox, OpenNebula, OpenStack, OpenShift. One of the points that we want to be of our solution, an open source, the proprietary, but we bring some things to the community and they bring us some things more. Okay, Kubernetes, should be the answer about the scalability and what in terms of open source. Then what can we do if we choose Kubernetes as an hypervisor? We see Shift, grow KubeVirt system, and it works. So we can grow very strongly with KubeVirt. If we want to make something like platform as a service or software as a service, of course, Kubernetes can answer to that. Operators, CRGs can do this on the Kubernetes is the answer of the platform as a service. What we have is just to have some things like OpenStack, and then we have the security, and then we can do some things scale. Point where we say, okay, Kubernetes is the point. Let's go try to find the best solution. It's difficult because Kubernetes is still open source. Of course, it's in production for many companies. But as an hypervisor, I don't know so much cloud provider based on Kubernetes. So what's the point? Does exist a OpenShift, many other, and we try to work with them to say, okay, we want to solve the customer needs. We want to be oriented services. What can we do together? So they have subscription for the support. And of course, if you want to bring a new idea open, it's slow because it's backed by big company like Red Hat, SUSE, or whatever. And if you something very slow to fix a problem, it's really fast. Okay, of course, you open an issue on GitHub. There is some guys working on it. And next release, you would like to bring a new feature. It takes more time, and you cannot do something fast. We start with one of them and say, okay, we're ready to pay for that if you can develop the feature for us. And it's slow, very slow. About 1 year to create a cloud provider with all the needs we want. And of course, all the last technology and the best practices in the world, and in the same time in the open source world, and in the same time in the customer needs. That means role-based accessibility, etc., etc. And we are misaligned with the product vision. So what's the next step? So we spend money on this, we spend time on this. It was a bit difficult for that. So the fully open source harness as a cloud provider. We don't want a vendor lock-in. So bye-bye Red Hat, OpenShift, it's a vendor lock-in. Sovereignty, the first one, because our customer, 60% of Swiss company and 30% about, we need to keep the data in Switzerland. And of course, we don't want any dependency. Why? Because many geopolitical misunderstanding at this time, and we don't want to depend of another company or another. We need something very close to Switzerland. And one of the points is to be open and take the product for us. So a fork is possible as an open source. It's not what we want, but it's an option. License problem we had and we found on the open source world with last years. And it's very important to be free. Of course, we think about the open source by design. When we spoke about open source, that's from the router to the operating system to everything, all layer about a cloud provider to make sure that we are free. And to manage or change or add a feature on our firewall, we can pay or we can do this for that. And it's possible. We have done for customer and we have the best solution for us as a provider. And for us, it was another point. We have a company, we need to have an asset to say, this is our product and we can build for that and it's customer. So that's a big point for us. When we spoke about Kubernetes, we spoke about, of course, open sources and CNCF. On all CNCF product, all solution, and of course, I spent many time on GitHub to find a good. And I tried, and I found one, Cozystack. Hello CNCF, hello Cozystack. That's one of the points where to see something able to build something big rise. When I look at the Cozystack of the solution, big, he answered to many problems, but not all. I take a discussion with Andrew and wants to do with the Cozystack open source product and what he wants to do for us. So what was very nice because I like behind the project and I liked how we see the vision of the project and how we can work together to build something strong. So take the iCube, Hidora insight and needs for our customer and bring to the Cozystack evolution for the entire community to say the needs of our customer could be the same for French people guys, German guys, or then I saw them and say, okay, maybe what we need is the same for the entire community. Let's try to have a mutual and do so for the CNCF, the open sources, and of course for us as a cloud provider. So what will be the solution for operational guys who are not developers? So how can we do this? Of course, financial contributions, that's the answer. The seems to be good. People working on the framework are very nice. Let's pay them to build something. We sponsor open sources and say, okay, what we pay, we need and we want to be open source. That idea brings their knowledge and of course try to share and participate to the project. And important because we see the needs of our customer, we see the technical things we see centers, then it's for us, we have the developer and we bring idea to the community. Of course, we participate on the repository, participate on the weekly meeting, and of course we have more meeting with Andrew and the team to see how we can bring and the stable framework new project. So we have the everything from big company like and but in the small framework and source without the lock-in, and we can bring more technology and more benefit for our customer. Let's start the story. What we backup as a service, PVC encryption, Windows OS, S3, VPC, etc. is things that I said to Andrew, we our customer, and we start the roadmap together with the community, with Cozystack, with ANX in the same time, and so on this to because from my point of view, all open sources need cash to be paid for the development what sources. So as a company, yes, we pay for open sources, and I'm very proud to say this is fully open sources. I avail for everyone. So that's for me an asset, and in the same time, a share that grow by the product for our customer and in the same time for the open sources. And the journey that have a stable, more and more product and more solution. Now it's still an open sources, so security, how we can move to production, because we want to migrate some Elastic customer to iCube, and we want to bring this production cluster, the idea of that. So as an operation cluster, as an operation testing. So we spend many months, many time, many resources to just shut down a server, shut down a data center, shut down the firewall, how the product reacts. And we start to thinking about how we can build the high availability, how we can measure the put everything on our contract, because when you are a cloud provider, we have a contract. What will be the RPO and RTO announced to our customer, and we are proud of this. Of course, we check the network in the same time because we need to be very close, very isolated in the world and between tenants, and it was a very difficult point. The next step is about the security. So network, about code quality, about everything. We need to see that if this project is correctly done, and we can go in production with that. So we did the pen test. We bring some external company to test from external to Cozystack, so iCube, and inside Cozystack between to multi-tenant product or not, and how it was done. And to be honest, it was perfect. The a cloud provider with low risk in the pen test. And for us, it was very important because, as you can imagine, if we want to attack financial, insurance, medical company as a customer, we need to prove that our solution is strong in terms of security. At the end, we need to have the end user testing to see, does this solution answer your needs? Anytime, many months, access as free resource on our cluster and say, test and let us know what is wrong, how do you bring a better idea to have a better Cozystack and, of course, a better iCube system for our customer. And since now we are in marketing, let's say, high availability for iCube, and we put the market on the iCube on new customer, and let's go in production, real production. At the end of all these tests, now we can start with iCube and Cozystack. And of course, we can continue to contribute to the project and to the Cozystack team and ANX to the development. So it was a very new step for us because we will be the first provider in Switzerland data center replication with a very, very high availability. Today, we can say we can lose an a few minutes after start on another one data center. And we are the only one can do this in the real-time synchronization. We answer all our needs, and now we can sell it and bring new feature. So when we start this, of course, we already have a Geneva center for Gelastic, and we create a new data center, Lucerne, to have a free replication and very. So it's built in, it's our material, and now we have a beautiful solution to lose one data center the last few years, and it was difficult. So for us, we can say to our customer, yes, data center is saved, and Cozystack help us to do this. So with Cozystack now, we can promote database, streaming, GCS free. So we are still close to the platform as a service with infrastructure as a service, state of the art, CNC and full open sources. So we have the full data here without any connection to our other external vendors. And this is very important for us. So for us, what's next? The hypervisor, we have everything. We answer to all the needs from our customer, for our customer, and for. So now, what's the next step is create an API to manage Cozystack and manage other software, but because we want to bring some service with different, like GitHub, GitLab, like monitoring, like observability or whatever. To have an API to manage everything. So what I would like to say is we are very proud to enhance and Cozystack to grow, help Cozystack to answer to the customer needs. And for us, it's a very for the future. And we are very proud of this. And we will, of course, continue in this direction. And this is the journey. Now, since 2 or 3 months, we have new customer every 2 days with GPU, with virtual machine, with data or Kubernetes, and it works. It works well. And my team are very proud because we can do maintenance and everything without any problem. really clear that we are proud of this and we will continue with that. This is, I think I'm a bit earlier. For me, this is the journey of the iCube open source and how we build that together with ANX and Andrew, of course. Thank you very much, everyone.
You do have just a few in the chat if you'd like to answer those.
Let me see if I saw. Okay. What using? How did your team approach the learning curve of Cozystack? So, thanks a lot for this question. The first one we use, because we can use Devo, HPE, or whatever. We are based on the Cozystack infrastructure, and then it's a Talos. So it's completely compatible of what we had, and we could just continue with bigger machines, GPU compatible, but it works very well. And concerning the learning curve, it was easy because we already do a lot of consulting and managed service on Kubernetes, so very well Kubernetes, and we are already certified Kubernetes cloud platform and certified Kubernetes consulting platform. So for us, it was quite easy for that. But it was really interesting because we now have a support deal with ANX for this, and if we ask ANX team to help us on this, but we are more not in support, more in about new idea and how we can fix any problem, or for example routing, or for example new feature we can need for customer. So it's more for both of them, and it's really interesting. Second question from Raf. We just think about migrate for that. Alors, Jelastic, it's exactly more for technical guys, knowing about YAML, knowing about infrastructure as code, and that's the bring a new web UI, or let's say end user friendly for everyone. Sysadmin, Kubernetes, that's one of the points. Regarding Jelastic, it works very well if you know very well the product. We are one of the bigger Jelastic providers. Very good product if you know how to use it. The advantage of Jelastic is the web interface can answer to everyone, but there is the dependency of the old structure. That means it's difficult to escalate and evolution and it's for the moment we don't provide Cozystack dashboard for the final customer because there is the different change of the dashboard structure as a service with kubectl, and it works very nice with the Kicklock integration. I hope I answered to this question. Andrew, how resource consuming is to specific system of run? It's a good question. To be honest, Andrew, I don't make any difference. I don't measure this difference. The point is for us now on Cozystack, the control plane, it's on the same hardware that's occur for the moment, but at the end you need the free control plane on the Cozystack, and regarding Jelastic you need two plane, quite similar. And for the let's say the resource consuming, I think quite similar because Jelastic is based on Docker, and I think the high availability of Kubernetes, so on Cozystack, is really because we the TCD, etc. Jelastic doesn't have this high availability on multi-data center. Alshin from Peter is not planned for the moment, but I think in 1 year and 1 year and a half, I think we will add it in our roadmap, because there is some needs about the ecology. Of course, our data center are fully green data center, but IRM will be the answer for that. That's a good point for us, but not all applications realm, so provide different regions for that. You can, you can use Cozystack, and we already use Ceph in the precedent project. It's a good solution, but Ceph, it's a bit more complicated Lean store to manage this. And to be honest, we were a bit surprised about the quality and the performance of Lean store. Big cool in terms of high availability, easy to maintain. The replication between data center is very strong, and you can out and the configuration, the parameter. To be honest, Ceph is really cool for Ceph is really cool for that, but a bit complicated. Lean seems to be a more strong for that. Have you looked at Harvester or UbiCloud? We looked about Harvester, and that's one of the Harvester. It's a good solution for not multi-tenancy. And if you want for harvest it, you don't have Cilium, so in terms of network, it's a bit different. But you have VLAN. That's one of the points. Reason ask Andrew and Amy to create the VPC on Cozystack because we need VLAN for certain customers. It was difficult because SUSE, it's a very good company, very open sources, but it's a bit slow compared to a small team like. So want to go fast to the market, Cozystack will answer better to this kind of needs. But Harvester is still a good product because we promote it for our customer and we manage it, but it's not cloud-oriented solution. It's more solution. And to be honest, I don't know if we are recorded.
Yes, we are. Recording will be available, be posted to CNCF YouTube channel, and also we will duplicate these messages to Cozystack channels.
Cool.
Probably this is all the questions. Thank you a lot, Matthieu.